الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. This is our third session, and the topic that we had started, I had actually given it the title, The Journey of the Believer to the Hereafter, رحلة المؤمن إلى الدار الآخرة. And I chose to actually report happy things, the positive things that are going to happen, the pleasant things that are going to happen, because these are real. And the reason I decided, although I have researched both, I have researched myself and documented and actually gave lectures in both, which is the journey of the believer to the hereafter, and also the journey of the kafir or the sinful to the hereafter. I found that I would like to actually concentrate more on the journey of the believer to the hereafter, more than the other one, because I felt at one point in time that we just hear so much about the punishment and all the things that were threatened are going to happen to us after we die, and the snakes that are going to be let loose on you when you are in the grave, and the fires that are, I just felt that we need to tell the other story. We need to show people who will be listening to us, like, when this is now being recorded and it will be on YouTube, I want people to see that Islam gives the glad tidings. Islam gives the glad tidings, and a lot of people, when they say, no, we still have to say what's going to happen about the punishment and all of that, to the extent that I see them wanting to direct me to make 70% of my talk talking about punishment. And I say, for now, I want to make it 70% of my talk, what are the pleasant things that the believers go to see? Because it's something that we need the non-Muslims to see, that Islam is the religion of mercy, it's the religion of happiness. And for example, I quite frequently hear about the 70,000 who Prophet Muhammad said will be entering Al-Jannah without any hisab, meaning that from the grave they will go to the first class lounge to wait for others to have hisab, to settle their accounts, and then they go straight for Jannah. Allah does not take accounts for them. They're going to go straight to Al-Jannah. I normally used to hear the hadith of the 70,000. But actually, there are other hadiths. One of them where Prophet Muhammad asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase that number. Because I discussed in one of the previous lectures, I said, I thought about that hadith myself. And I want my ambition to be as high as it can be. I want my ambition not to enter Al-Jannah after light taking of account. I would like my ambition to be to enter Al-Jannah without any taking of account. What's my chance? 70,000 people? There were more than 70,000 people, Sahaba, at the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And then there is this other hadith where Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says that I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase that number for my ummah. And then Allah said that with each one of those 70,000, He will allow another 70,000. 70,000 times 70,000, as Brother Fairuz mentioned, how? 4.9 billion. And to be honest with you, even when I thought about that 4.9 billion, I was thinking, what's my chance? I mean, from the time of Adam alayhi salam until the day of judgment, how many billions of people, of mu'mineen, of Muslimin, because we know all of the followers of the prophets are Muslims. How many of those are going to be better than me? In my opinion, it's far more than, tens of billions, maybe hundreds of billions. So I needed something more than that, close to open-ended, in order for me to feel, yes, there is a chance for me, and then I feel hope in working for it. So there's another hadith which says, and then Prophet Muhammad ﷺ asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase even that number further, that 4.9 billion, to allow 70,000 to enter with each one of the original 70,000. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased that number by 3 handfuls picked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We shouldn't imagine a hand, of course. We all know that as Sunni Muslims. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said it like that, we say it, but we don't imagine that Allah has a hand or Allah has a, So, but Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, and 3 handfuls picked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Arabic, it is meant to be so much. This is what it's really meant to be in Arabic. And there is another saying which says that Umar ibn Khattab said, Allahu Akbar, Wallahi, Allah can make all of mankind enter without taking into account only with one of his handpicks. Or even given 3. So, brothers and sisters, don't lose hope. Keep going. Let your ambition be to enter Al-Jannah without any hisab. And nothing stops you except your own determination and your own insistence to do that. We reached last time until the believers, we said that after the hisab is finished, after the taking of account is finished, people move to a place which is a very dark place. There's total darkness. And then I want you to imagine that you are on this ground here, and then there is a huge ditch in front of you. The valley, huge valley. And there is another ground after that ditch, after that valley. We would be here on this ground, and in this ditch, in this huge valley, there is the hellfire. And there is a bridge, a sirat, bridge on top of it, to enable people to go to the land where they would be waiting in front of Al-Jannah. And before, initially Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those people who are kuffar, those people who did not believe, those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed for them to go to the hellfire, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just sends them to the hellfire. And I again would like to stress here, please do not go to any non-Muslim and tell him, you are personally going to go to the hellfire because you are a non-Muslim. Don't do that. Islam does not allow us to do that. Islam gives the general criteria, like even Christianity gives the general criteria, like Judaism gives the general criteria. But which individual exactly will go to heaven or go to hell, this is in the hands of Allah. Because this person that you might be telling him, you personally are going to go to the hellfire, you do not know. Maybe 1 minute after he dies, he will be guided. And here you are, throwing sentences for, we as Muslims, our duty is not to sentence people, neither to paradise nor to the hellfire. Our duty is to convey the message in the best possible way and leave the rest to Allah. So those people who Allah decides to go to the hellfire, He would just send them to the hellfire. There is a saying, in order just for people to see that the great fairness and great justice that will be encountered that day. There is a verse in the Quran which says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وقضي بينهم بالحق وقيل الحمد لله رب العالمين. And it has been judged in the day of judgment, it will be judged amongst them with justice, and it will be said, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. There is, Al-Hasan is quoted to have said that even the kafir, the disbeliever, who gets sentenced by Allah to go to the hellfire, while he is going to the hellfire, he is saying, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. He must have seen fairness, justice beyond our imagination. In order for us to be able to imagine that, let me give you an example. And it's only just meant to be an example. Imagine someone murders 100 people. Now he goes to court, and what is the sentence that he's expecting? The death sentence, right? He's expecting the death sentence. And for some reason, when the judge listens to the circumstances that led him to commit that murder, he hears that the judge says it is a life sentence in prison. You're going to be in prison for the entire of your life. And you see him, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. What's this? Somebody looking. What's Alhamdulillah for being sentenced to a life in prison? Meaning that he knows that what he has been sentenced to is even less than what he deserves. So, in Islam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sentences someone to a certain punishment, he would know himself, that person, at that time, that if it wasn't for a mercy coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would have even deserved more than that. And then people cross the bridge, the hypocrites would fall, and the faithful believers would cross. They would cross the bridge to the other land. And the faithful believers, after they cross, and we mentioned last time that the faithful believer that we are talking about, the one who lived with La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah being his life, that believer who the angels came to him at the time of death and gave him the glad tidings that he was going to go to Al-Jannah, that particular believer, when he crosses that bridge and he sees the hellfire in front of below him, that scene does not bother him in any way, and the heat of the fire will not bother him in any way. He will pass like quicker than an eye winks. You see, you already winked, you already crossed, finished. Can you see that? You already winked? Okay, finished, you crossed. Khalas. Now why is this? Why do I need to see that horrible scene below me? If I will be crossing it so easy like this, I could just cross, with quicker than an eye wink. Okay, crossed, finished. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had promised to show you everything that He mentioned to you in the Quran and through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything was meant to be al-ghayb, things that are unseen to you, but you believed in them. Any one of you saw Al-Jannah? But no, none of us saw Al-Jannah, but we believe in it. Any one of us saw An-Nar? No, but we believe in it. Any one of us saw the angels? No, but we believe in them. In the Day of Judgment, Allah will enable us to see all those things in order to tell us, look, what you had believed in before and without seeing, now I will allow you to see it so that your heart is comfortable that everything you were told was true. So the believer, when he looks at the hellfire, he will be having double the happiness compared to if he had not seen the hellfire. Because when he crosses the hellfire, look at all of those attractions that we see in front of us, and we just avoid them. Why? Because in fear of the hellfire, in fear of the hellfire, we stopped so many enjoyments in fear of the hellfire, Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows you, here is the hellfire that you worked so hard during your life to avoid. Here it is. So you feel that the victory. You feel that I have indeed been victorious. You feel the achievement that I escaped from this. And then when you see Al-Jannah, you will be having double happiness. Alright, now the believers crossed, and they would be waiting to enter Al-Jannah. But there is a category from amongst the people who crossed, who